project we're on is B3. It's 5 Pancras Square, sits in the corner of the B zone next to St Pancras Station. It's a mixed-use development for Camden Council, split between 4 leisure facilities and 10 floors of commercial, well, their office for their new relocation that's been happening in April through to June next year. In terms of the building being green, it's got a BREEAM rating of outstanding, and it's actually going for a score currently agreed at 93%, targeting 96 to make it the greenest building in the UK. It's really been driven by Argent as well as Camden. Camden wanted it to be the most energy efficient building. Making the building green's got a number of different aspects to it. There's a whole load of design elements related to how the buildings run eventually. So King's Cross has a facility for a district heating main, so that gets you credits for that, as well as the gas and the electric all being fed from one source. And then the way the building's been designed, it's very energy efficient, saving Camden quite a lot of money per year. So it's got very green chillers for the conditioning. The way the building's been designed with the cladding, it stops the building getting hot and then trying to cool it, so it keeps the building cool initially. It's also got a natural ventilation design as well, so it's all fed with underfloor heating and ventilation, and there's also a large aspect of the recycled aggregates has been used in the concrete frame elements, which again gains you more points. And then as a contractor care, we have to bring another number of aspects to the party in terms of reducing and minimising waste off site, making sure we put what we do have to recycling and reuse rather than landfill, as well as getting good scores on considerate constructors and operating the site safely, etc. Not only is it going to be a green building, it's going to be the first one with swimming pools to achieve such a score, so that's quite an important challenge. Now, the way that the building's been designed, there's a steel frame up to level 2, which has the leisure facility below it, and then a concrete frame above for the offices, which is unusual because you've got the heaviest element on top of the steel. So we've had some very, very large transfer beams in excess of 30 tonnes to go in, and then all the lower floors, levels 1, upper ground and lower ground, are actually on hangers from level 2. So rather than it being built from the bottom up, it was built from the bottom up with temporary propping, and then everything hangs in its final state, so that you don't have columns in swimming pools. It lets them create a rather nice 3-storey entrance into the leisure facility. We've been doing a whole series of tours with the Camden employees, and everyone so far seems quite excited, ready to move in, which is obviously an important aspect to getting it finished.
It's a Grade 2 listed building. It was built in 1865, and it was solely funded by the German community in London at the time. So they raised £6,000, and it was built in 1865, as I say. The purpose of the building that we're in was for a sole use gym. It was the first gymnasium of its type in the UK, and at that time it hosted several of the sort of National Olympic Association events. At that time that was very much an annual games, and they were very much the forerunner to the modern Olympic Games and the modern IOC movement. It was used as a gym up until around 1918. At that point a mezzanine was inserted, which is the level that we're in now. So the gym uses continued, but not quite to the same extent. After the Second World War, it's had a range of different uses, such as office occupiers, art exhibitions. It's been the visitor centre for King's Cross. It's currently unoccupied, but in the next couple of years it should be fully renovated, open to the public again, and opened as a restaurant. It's got very shallow foundations, so it very much sort of supports its own weight, which is quite unique in itself. But particularly the ceiling spans that are here are laminated roof timber trusses, which was the earliest example of this kind of build in the UK. So these timber trusses here, obviously built for the gymnasium, but the first time took place here in the UK. So the engineering here was around the roof trusses, and now their continued sort of renovation and use. There's probably a lot of dialogue needed to take place with English heritage and the like. The renovation will have to obviously incorporate modern aspects to a building, like fire resistance, good escape routes, etc., but also maintaining and restoring indeed these engineering elements like the roof trusses, sort of restoring them to their former glory. So those will be challenges for years ahead.